Hello, everybody. Welcome into another edition of Prime Sports World. And I'm Coach, your host, David. I'm playing Huffman, joined by Israel Rivera, my co-host, Mr. TJ Hopkins. Welcome to the show, gentlemen. And we're running this as the NFL draft is currently going on. But on today's show, we're going to be checking in with the first round of the NBA playoffs. Somebody's got a lot of background noise. But yeah, I'm David Huffman. Let's just get right into it without wasting any time. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Not even going to see how you guys are doing today as we get right into it. Let's talk about the Western Conference. Oklahoma City Thunder up 2-0 on the Pelicans. Question for you guys. Series now shifts to New Orleans. Can the Pelicans come back, or is this already curtains for the first round of this playoff series?
Is Zion coming back?
Shout out to TJ. Huh?
Shout out to me for it. What'd I do?
No, because David using your slang over there. David's using your slang over there, man.
Yeah, curtains.
Curtains.
Is Zion coming back?
No,
I doubt it.
he's not coming back. He had a hamstring strain.
He did.
Absolutely.
His playoff return is definitely realistic. Whatever that means. That's out of a sports reporter.
Definitely realistic.
It's some Bernard King type shit.
That means he can come back. But
even if he comes back, if he doesn't come back for Game 3, this series will be a sweep. It doesn't matter.
If he don't come back for Game 3, it's likely over. And
predicated on his style of play and the injury he had. I don't know if he does come back. I don't know how effective he will be since he has no jump shot. And so the explosive plays that
here's the thing: is he
accustomed to doing? It won't be
I mean, he would be a matchup problem for anyone else.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't necessarily have anybody. Yeah, sure, but his sheer presence on the floor, like they don't. Oklahoma City doesn't really have anybody that can go toe to toe, body for body with a Zion Williamson, like in the post or anything.
They don't have anybody. They really don't have anybody that's been able to guard Valanciunas.
Yeah,
exactly.
And
That's
I mean,
the point.
the first game was real close. I mean, the Pelicans lost by 2 points, but yesterday was a straight up shellacking. I mean, 30 points. I mean,
Yeah,
that
I
is
mean,
not a
you didn't expect the output that Chet Holmgren put out,
yeah,
right? What was it,
yeah.
26 points? Shea had 33. Lou Dort gave you 15. Giddy gave you double digits. I think all 5 starters were in double digits. I think J Dub gave you 18 or 20,
Right.
something like that.
Right.
You know what? I'm gonna be real with you though. I think New Orleans has a shot here to win Game 3 at least,
They
because
got to.
like you said, all season, you know, if they're shooting that 3-way and they're gonna get that home crowd is gonna get them pumped up. And if I'm not mistaken, OKC hasn't had a good record against them at home this season.
But it's the age old adage, right? Like role players do better at home, right?
Yeah,
I got Philly and New York on my TV. Campaign coming to game, he hitting shots, talking shit. That was non-existent in New York. You see, the Orlando Magic are up 30 on the Cavs right now.
Trigger Trey had 20 plus points in the first game. They're going to need more of that in the third game because he gave him nothing in the second game. Herb Jones actually had a pretty good game at 18. I think Valanciunas led them at 19. That is unacceptable.
Like I expect
Trigger Trey, is that really his nickname?
I'm calling him Trigger Trey
I
because he got a burner.
mean, I don't hate
it. The thing is about Trey Murphy is when Zion's out, his points per game average goes up to 17, 18 points per game from whatever his average is now. It goes up to 17, 18 points per game. So without Zion, he should be scoring more, obviously.
More.
In theory. Yeah,
in theory, but he didn't do it in game 2. So I think game 3, guys like off the bench, and that's another thing, that their bench isn't is inconsistent. I mean, guys like Alvarado have to play well. Guys like Dyson Daniels, when they come off the bench, they have to play well. You know, so it's hard for Brandon Ingram just starting to get back into the form into the scheme of things after being out for a long time. So he's kind of catching his wind. I think he has a good game 3. He's been an excellent playmaker. I think we need more with him with the ball in his hands more, and have CJ play off the ball a little bit more. Because CJ is an excellent scorer. CJ went on a run before the season ended where he scored. He had like 3 30-point games. So I could see where CJ McCollum, has one of those games at home where he, makes about 6-7 threes. So
moving on to the other side, let's talk about Denver and the Los Angeles Lakers. As Lakers lose a little bit of a heartbreaker there in game number 2, they're going to try to regroup and go back into LA. Can they rebound, and can they even get a game against the Denver Nuggets?
Yes. I think game 3 tonight they bust the Denver Nuggets ass.
It has to be. It has to be this one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you could say that. You could say that, but any of these series where the home team is up 2-0. I mean, because we talk about this all the time. Like playoff series really don't start. Playoff series really don't start until a team wins a game on the road. Like,
sure. But at the same time, like. For psychological purposes, for psychological purposes, it has to be this one. Like, because all they talk about.
If they don't come out of the gates and just like literally blow Denver out of the water, like any kind of a close game, I think bodes bad for the Lakers if going forward in this series.
Exactly, because think about
because they lose a heartbreaker. LeBron opened for a 3-point shot, he doesn't make it, and then Jamal Murray hits a way more difficult shot to win the game.
It was the fact they started doubling Jokic up 20.
Up 20.
Like you start doubling Jokic and you start letting everybody else get involved.
It was just bad coaching.
So check it out.
Darvin getting fired at the end of this.
But check it out. Check this out. You had 2 games, right? Game 1, game 2. Your big 3, quote unquote. Well, your big 2 plus 1, and D'Angelo Russell. Big 2 plus 1. They played as good as they could have. They played great. I mean, D'Angelo Russell, he struggled game 1. But like they had outside production. I think it was Rui who had a good game 1. He had a decent game 1. You were still up 15, and they walked you down. Game 2. They played as good as they could have from the guys that you expected. LeBron, AD, D'Lo. They played
12 rebounds, 26 and 12 from LeBron, 32 and 11 from AD,
And
23 from D'Angelo Russell. I mean,
LeBron, most of that came in the fourth quarter. LeBron,
I think
the real problem Russell, and you lost. Like
I mean, the real problem is the Lakers aren't getting anything from their bench. Like their bench is basically non-existent in this series. I mean, 6 points in by combined between 5 guys last night or whatever. 2 days ago.
Torian Prince had what?
6 points. He had 6 points. He's the only guy who scored on their bench.
They could really use some defensive guys coming off that bench.
So like check this out.
Vanderbilt and Christian.
I'm not gonna say bad. You can say bad coaching. You can say bad officiating. You can say whatever. Fact of the matter is, you were still up 20. AD was working. He was killing them in the paint.
He was going.
He missed one shot in the paint, or like 10 feet out. The minute I knew the game was over with, I saw AD shoot a corner 3. I'm like, yep, game over. They finna lose this one.
Well, I think
you ain't shoot you weren't shooting nothing outside the paint the entire game, the whole game. Then you wait till that moment to pop out for a corner 3, and you missed. That was only your second miss of the night, right? You went scoreless, Anthony Davis. You went scoreless the final 20 minutes of the game. That can't happen.
Yeah, he needed the ball. This is what needed to happen is that he needed the action and he needed the ball every damn play down the floor when he was on the court. And he wasn't getting it. They did run a few pick and roll.
That pick and roll was unstoppable with him and LeBron. Why would you go away from that?
LeBron and him, they did run a couple pick and rolls down the stretch, but I think AD needed to touch the ball every single possession down the stretch. He is your he's your best player, man.
Yeah.
Like you have to give him the ball and you can't run plays for Austin Reeves. You can't run plays for those other guys. You got to just start giving the AD the ball. He was killing Jokic. And I feel like, double teaming Jokic was a bad idea because then they started getting everybody else open. But they win tonight. I think they get one off tonight.
I think of all of the series that are currently 2-0, I think that this is the team that has the best potential to come back.
Yes, just because of what they showed me the first 2 games. That
I don't. Because the bigger picture is this, right? It's been repeated X amount of times. You were up 20. Jamal Murray was trash for 95% of that game. Jamal Murray did everything possible to give you the game. He was horrible until the last 6-7 minutes of the game.
Specifically last seconds of the
Michael
game.
Porter Jr. with a big 3 down the stretch too.
It's little stuff like that, right? Like it's Jokic throwing up a prayer, anticipating getting fouled, but he doesn't get the call, and it's Aaron Gordon coming out of nowhere, snatching the ball, somehow managing to stay inbound, tossing it to Michael Porter Jr., who just hits a 3 surrounded by 3 different Laker players.
LeBron,
that's one of the things where it's just like, yo, man, like, hey, it's just a night. Like, what the
LeBron also, when they're up 20 like that, he can't be passive and start, okay, I'm gonna get everybody else involved. No, you just need to go out there and just go dominate.
Like that's what you say, right? That's what you say.
Most of his damage. He did most of his damage in the fourth quarter. I think he had like 12 or 14 points in the fourth quarter. He only had 2 in the third. And if LeBron was aggressive, like LeBron and AD both should have had 35 to 40 points in that game.
Agree with you. So moving over. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's like they crying about the officiating, and it's kind of like that. Like that's the poetic justice that is like that's the poetic justice about like, yo, like LeBron, you've been doing this shit for 21 years. How many times have you gotten the call? How many times, right? Like how many times have you gotten the call where it's like, come on, man, really? Like, yeah, go ahead.
Moving on to the other side of the Western Conference, let's talk first about Minnesota Timberwolves up 2-0 on the Phoenix Suns. I don't know why that graphic is misspelled. I'll fix that real quick. Can the Suns get back into the series? If they've just gotten absolutely, completely outplayed on both sides of the ball so far in this series, they have not been remotely close in any of the games that they've lost. Like I mean, they were up for a minute in game 2, but they were basically a wire loss in game 1.
This is the problem, and I knew this was going to be a problem come playoff time for the Phoenix Suns, and they could have got away with it all season. They don't got no type of true point guard to set 3 generational talent scorers up. KD, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal all had point guards their whole career that can set them up. That they're scorers, right? They don't have a point guard. Grayson Allen, great shooter, but he ain't a true point guard. When you got Booker and Beal handling the ball, most of the time they're not true point guards. They're scorers. They're looking to score. They're not looking to set stuff up. So I don't think the Suns can get back in this series unless the Phoenix Suns. I heard something from Chandler Parsons and Lou Will, Lemon Pepper Lou. Shout out Lemon Pepper Lou, saying that they should start or play Isaiah Thomas more because he is their only true point guard on the team.
I mean, at this point, Isaiah Thomas has played so few number of minutes, and I'm not sure that'll make a whole lot of difference. But he would give them a true point guard on the floor.
Right, exactly, David. Why not?
Much, man.
What else is what you got right now?
They don't have anything else. But I mean,
what you got?
Okay, David.
Isaiah Thomas hasn't played basketball in like in 3 years.
You act like Mike Conley is like physically imposing too. Like Mike Conley gonna put him in the boat.
It's not even about that.
Yeah, even he don't really play a lot of minutes.
He just straight up hasn't played much.
So,
you expect him to be the savior of the series?
We're not saying to be the savior. We're saying to change the pace.
Savior. Ain't nobody said nothing about the savior. No one. That is not.
They need a guy that's gonna set up the other guys.
The issue that we have right now.
Set up Durant. They need a guy that's gonna set up Beal. They need a guy that's gonna set up Booker. If that's the case, then why don't you bench Booker and bring Isaiah Thomas and bench Beal and bring Isaiah Thomas and Beal off the bench?
Like, here's the thing.
And start Eric Gordon instead of Beal.
Isaiah Thomas has played Durant. 6 games this season. I mean, come on.
I know, but I'm saying you have to do something.
Once again, David, my pet peeve with you. Why do you downplay? Why do you downplay that? We're not saying anything about him saving anything. We're not saying that.
All right, fair enough.
Just come. Like you got to give them something. You like
give me 20 minutes.
What you trying out? Not even that. 15. Give me 15 minutes.
Give me 15 minutes.
What you trying out right now clearly is not working.
And
it's not true. I mean, you might as well. You could absolutely roll the dice on something different.
What we're saying right now is the current.
That's what I'm talking about. Isaiah Thomas. That's what I'm saying. Like, you want to
TJ, hold on. David, tell me who else on their roster. What can the Phoenix Suns do right now?
Nothing. I think they're fucked. I didn't mean to swear. I don't swear a whole lot, but I think they're cooked. I think it's like.
David, so if you can't do nothing, then you have to do something. Right?
Isaiah Thomas is not the answer.
Me personally, I am upset at Frank Vogel for not utilizing the other guys on that bench. You got a ball who could be critical in this series.
Let me tell you,
played a legitimate minutes this season. Yeah, sure.
You know who was out there that would have been? You know who was out there that would have been perfect for the Phoenix Suns right now?
Kyle Lowry.
That boy with the left hand, Jonathan Wall. John Wall would have been perfect for them now.
John Wall is just finished, dude.
He would have been perfect for them right now, though. But Kyle Lowry too. I like Kyle Lowry.
And I wholeheartedly disagree with the notion of Phoenix is being cooked. Again, role players are phenomenal at the crib.
Yeah.
Because
I personally just don't think they can come back in this series. I think Minnesota's too big, and I think they're too physical for this Suns team. It's a bad matchup.
All those guys need to start playing a lot better off the bench.
Chargers with the game changer, Joe at 5.
Let's go. I had that one in my mocks. Moving on from the other side, the series is finally a series. Is tied up 1 apiece. We got the Los Angeles Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks. Clippers win game 1 without Kawhi Leonard. Mavericks win game 2 when Kawhi Leonard returns by 3 points. Who do you like in this series and who has the advantage going into game 3? Crucial.
All right. So we all Bulls fans on the panel. Y'all remember that Bulls Celtics series from like 2009 when we took greatest playoff series ever, right? Like regardless of round, right? Regardless of round, right? I am under the impression that this series could not match that. Like I ain't gonna say like be better than that one.
Man, the Giants are just super happy right now. Malik Neighbors just falls in their lap. Anyways, continue.
He could this playoff series could not match that one, but like not be better than, but it could match it. Like I could see them. First off, it's hard to top 7 overtime periods in.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be tough to top that series, but like I think this has a legitimate chance to go 7. And these teams are just really fairly matched. I mean, you got 2 superstar players against 3. I mean, James Harden's been fantastic in this series.
I don't think they're fairly matched. I'm not gonna go that far. Why? Because we know this, right? Healthy Kawhi, right? 100% Kawhi. No, he's better than any 3-4 on Dallas.
Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I know that. I don't necessarily think you're saying anything bold.
Exactly. So like that's like the only reason it's evenly matched right now is because Kawhi is hampered. Correct?
Yeah, I mean, but Luka Doncic is better than he's better than.
Watch that statement. Watch that. Watch that statement.
As much as I love
Please.
Paul George, Luka Doncic is a better basketball player today than Paul George.
Offensively.
Obviously. I mean, obviously. I think he's also better than. He's also better than.
Absolutely cooking James Harden.
He was probably better
That's
than
not hard
James
to
Harden.
do. That's not.
I know, but he was absolutely just embarrassing that man.
I mean, they've had some good depth on their bench. I mean, that PJ Washington trade he looked great last night. This is a very even series. I think it might be one of those series. It's like almost too close to call. Who do you think has the advantage right now?
Very close to.
Well, you can argue the Mavs have the advantage because they did what they had to do. Like they won on the road, right? You can say.
Yeah, I was gonna say they stole one. They stole. I still got the Clippers with the advantage, though. They just got too much.
Absolutely, they just got too much.
I mean, we don't know what the percent, how healthy. I'm pretty sure.
Once Kawhi Leonard actually gets back into game shape, I mean, he missed like about 3 weeks. He comes back in one game. He plays pretty well in that game, but it's also going to take some time to kind of re-implement him into the offense.
I'll give it game 4. Kawhi Leonard to start being Kawhi Leonard.
I think whoever wins game 3, regardless of whoever it is going to win the series.
It is 100-64 Orlando Magic. Anyway, I just have more faith in the Clippers' depth. I have more faith in their others than I do the Mavericks' others.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Don't get me wrong. Like he didn't have the game. He didn't have the game 1 that he had in game 2. But the fact that you can't contain Ivica Zubac with guys like Daniel Gafford, who's a defensive monster, by the way. I wholeheartedly. Izzy, don't run away with this. I wholeheartedly see Daniel Gafford in some DPOY races as like within the next couple of years. I'm serious.
Wembanyama put in the next 5 DPOY awards in a row.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
My guy, David, my guy.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's not winning it this year, but he's winning the next 5 in a row.
That's what I'm talking about with the running away, bro. Damn, can I make my fucking point? Like, Jesus Christ.
I do. No, Daniel Gafford.
I don't necessarily disagree with you. I just think, but
excellent
defensive
player.
I didn't say shit. Where in that statement did I say he was gonna win it? I said he was gonna be in some races. You just automatically jump to, he's winning the next 5. Shut up. Good guy.
Moving on to the
fact that Zubac just had double-doubles in the first 2 games is not a good statement. Like he getting his. Zubac is getting his.
And then
moving on to the Eastern Conference. We got the Boston Celtics, Miami Heat series tied 1-1. A bit of a surprise there as the Miami Heat won last night. Pretty convincing victory. Kristaps Porzingis had a terrible game in game 2, but let's talk about advantage with Boston and Miami. This series is still Boston. It's still going to be 5, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's still going to be 5. Yesterday was an anomaly. Okay, the
Absolutely.
Heat broke a franchise record on
23
made
threes.
three-pointers.
23.
Okay,
They shot
you
62% from
outshoot the
three.
best three-point shooting team in the league, you should win that damn basketball game. Now my thing is game 3, game 4. Like by game 4, are we gonna start talking about the Jimmy Butler? Do you think Jimmy Butler might give it a go? But if they
I mean,
maybe
I
win?
don't know. I think he's been ruled out for the series. I mean, I wouldn't surprise me if Jimmy Butler.
I'm not doubting Jimmy at all. I mean, I'm not doubting that guy's toughness at all. But
No, me
without
neither.
Terry Rozier, without Jimmy Butler, the Celtics, this is just one game. I think the Celtics win this in a gentleman's sweep,
No,
4-1.
the thing
And
that irked me about this one is
no,
the
Porzingis had a
lack
horrible game yesterday too. By the way, my bad.
I did
that
mention that.
and the lack of consistency. In this case,
so Jimmy Butler's supposed to miss the next 4 to 6 weeks. They just
yeah,
reevaluated
he's not
him.
coming. He's not coming.
He's cooked. I get
It's,
no way.
it's the lack of consistency in the official. Now the officials have nothing to do with the Heat hitting 23 threes, right? I'm not taking that away from them, but the amount of illegal screens I saw, the amount of fouls that weren't called, the amount of like it's like when we can see it at home. And I have no dog in this fight. I'm not a fan of neither team. I could care less. I could give 2 fucks who wins this series.
I kind of hate both these teams. I
don't care who wins. I don't care who wins this series. I have none whatsoever.
I was just saying, I kind of hate both these teams.
When Bam Adebayo sets a pick and Drew Holiday is tailing his defender, and Bam is allowed to shuffle and lean and whatever to extend the pick, that's an offense. That's a moving screen. That's an offensive foul. You have to call that. He did it like 6. He did it like 6 times in game 2, and none of them were called. And if I'm
calling them in the NBA now these days,
and if I'm if I'm Joe Mazzulla, that's when I lose the nice guy facade. I'm not trying to ruffle
I'm getting ejected out of a game.
I'm losing it. I'm losing it. I gotta snap because we on one end, they my guys are getting slapped 3 ways from Sunday. You're not calling it. Like I saw a play where Hayward Highsmith literally jumped over Porzingis' back to slap a pass away. That's over the back any day of the week, and twice on Sunday. It wasn't called. Yeah, I'm losing the nice guy facade if I'm Joe Mazzulla. I'm losing it. And I'm going off, and I'm like you said, and I'm possibly getting ejected. I'm setting, I'm calling y'all out on the bull. What's up, little Izzy? What's up, little homie?
One quick thing before we move on. Boston Celtics, I know they're gonna win the gentleman's sweep, but Porzingis has to play better, and they can't let those other guys. I'll let Bam do. I'll let Bam get off.
I'll let Bam do his. I'll let Hero get his. I can't let
Caleb Martin, like those guys.
I can't let Jovic. I can't get Caleb Martin. I can't let Jaime Jaquez. I can't let Haywood Highsmith get off. Like, come on, bro. All 5 starters had double digits, and then for Derek White. Derek White had an excellent 4th quarter, but Derek White needs to play a lot better the first 3 quarters if they're gonna, go deep into the playoffs. So
moving to the other side, we got the New York Knicks hosting the Sixers. The Knicks are up 2-0, but they are playing as we speak. At halftime, the Knicks are up 3 on the Philadelphia 76ers. So let's talk about it. Can the Sixers come back in this series? Both of the games between these 2 squads have been really close. Game 1 decided by 7 points. Game 2 decided by 3 points. And there have been a lot of officiating questions in this series. Even though I kind of hate talking about officiating, but it's hard not to in this series so far.
It's hard not to.
Yeah.
No,
bunch of missed calls, especially in game 2.
What you said about the Lakers, like you have faith in them coming back and at least tying it 2-2. That's how I feel about this one. That's how I feel about Philly, New York. Mostly because they're holding their own right now, Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson. But we already know 100% Joel Embiid. Oh man, barbecue chicken, over with, done, cooked. And he's hammered. I hope he's not hammered.
Let's hope not.
He's hindered.
That's usually my thing.
Right, exactly. I'm waiting on the day you jump through a table, and I want to be there for it. For some
I've
reason.
I've jumped through a couple tables already.
I was not there, so it doesn't count. He was he's hindered right now, and he's still giving you 32. Right, Joel Embiid's hindered right now. He's still giving you 32. Right.
I mean, he's got 17 points at halftime.
He's got 17. He's got 17
do some
points
real quick
right
math. That's 34 points for the game. So
exactly. So like the official, like let's just air it out, right? The officiate, it's a problem. It's a problem, right? Especially not even it wasn't a problem in game one. Game one was Knicks straight up. They won, no bad, nothing. Game two, that's the one everybody's complaining about, right? Game two.
yeah, I mean, missed 2 foul calls on Tyrese Maxey. Probably
So, like,
missed a
here's
foul
the thing.
call
So-
on Hartenstein on the block. And like,
So here's the here's the thing with me, right? Here's the thing. The they say the 2 fouls on they missed 2 fouls on Maxey, right? Maxey should they missed 2 fouls for Maxey, right?
yeah.
But how they deemed that a foul, but they deemed the push off that Maxey did on Hart to get open marginal. How is that marginal versus Brunson grabbing his jersey? How is that not marginal? Because we see tugging and pulling on every goddamn play. He literally, like, you literally see full extension push on Josh Hart so that's Philly fans is great right now. It's like you call like you said we missed 2 fouls, but you missed like the push off. Like if you call the push off, which is a dead ball foul, by the way, that's a tech and possession.
One shot fall and one shot foul.
That's a tech and possession.
I had gang in them in here. My bad, guys.
You good, bro.
You look at styling and profiling there with the jacket and the slices, Ric Flair would be so jealous of your styling and profiling.
He gotta be daddy right now.
Real quick, because you guys went a little bit, and I know we were short on time. I do think the 76ers could come back. Game 3, I don't even think it's close. I think the 76ers blow the Knicks out. I think
the Knicks are winning right now at halftime. So
oh, is it? Oh god, Leash.
It's not by much though.
They're only winning by 3. They're only winning by 3. So
what's the score on that game?
58-55. Yeah.
Oh, okay, 58-55.
It's not much.
This game's on ABC if you wanted to turn your television and watch it.
You know what? Honestly, I think second half,
ESPN.
76ers.
TNT.
I think the 76ers, put a nice little hurting on the Knicks. I think this is gonna be a 7-game series, though, in my opinion. I think this will be a 7-game series. I think the Sixers tie it up at home. But man, they're gonna need a lot more from guys that we mentioned before, Tobias Harris. They're gonna need a lot more from.
Don't get me started on that bomb, bro. Oh my god!
Need a lot more from Tobias Harris. They're gonna need a lot more from guys like Kelly Oubre, who I don't know, whatever personal problem he had, he crashed his Lamborghini after game. $40
million dude, $40 million man, in 2 games, 17 points, 7 of 18 shooting. The 18
Sixers,
rebounds.
The Sixers are. This is what happened with the Sixers. The Sixers are a team that, obviously, they needed a higher seed. This was going to be one of those matchups. This is a grinded out game. I think the Knicks just have enough of that grit and grind on the perimeter and the 3-point shooting. Especially they have good camaraderie too between the 3 Villanova guys, Brunson, DiVincenzo, and Josh Hart. Those guys play on a string. And they really play super hard. So I mean, hey man, it's gonna be a tough series. I think it's going. I think the Sixers tied up tonight.
A lot of their success to their bond.
Because
it's just certain things that you can't teach. That's one of them. That camaraderie, that
all won championships.
You just can't teach that.
To the other side of the bracket, let's first start in Milwaukee, as that series is now tied at 1 game apiece, as Milwaukee won game 1 on a big game from Damian Lillard, and the Pacers responded from a big game from Pascal Siakam. Take the advantage there. No real word on if Giannis is going to return. I'd heard that he'd probably come back for Game 4. I'm not really sure. I'm just kind of speculating at this point. But who has the advantage on this series so far? Who has the edge? As this series is knotted up. And as you see on the other graphic, I've already put the Cavs as being
Cavs. The Cavs are losing that.
They're getting beat down by 40 points.
Unless there's a historic comeback.
They got 5 minutes. They got 5 minutes to score 40 points without giving up one. Just don't see it.
Unless they put their sliders all the way up to 100.
Just don't see it.
It's still hard. It's still hard.
Anyways, to Milwaukee. Obviously, yeah, they win big in Game 1. Although they did let the Pacers come back in that game a little bit, it made things semi-interesting towards the end. And the Pacers just get out in the sprint and won that game easily in Game 2.
Especially in that fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, they were only up, like 8 or 9 points or double digits?
I think it was like 12 at one point.
It was like 12. It was reasonable, and they just literally took off. I want to say the Pacers have the edge because they stole one in Milwaukee. And now they're going back home where they're good, and they already have enough confidence enough that they can already beat the Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis and Antetokounmpo, with them. So without them, they got 1,000% confidence that they could beat the Milwaukee Bucks. Dame has to score 35 plus a game against these guys in order for them to have a chance. He can. Yeah, he can.
I'm not even going to say 30. I'm not even going to say 35. Hey, bro, give me 30. Give me 30.
Hell no. He's going to have to score 30. Look, he's going to have to be Superman in this series, in my opinion.
He's going to have to average like 37 points a game in this series.
Because
he's averaging. Well, he's already averaging 32.
It's not enough. It's not enough.
It's the same thing. It's like
and Chris Middleton got banged up last night, was it last night or the night? He might miss Game 3.
Penix Jr. is a Falcon.
What?
Okay, continue.
Oh, wow, that's pretty shot. With JJ McCarthy still on the clock, right?
He's still on the board. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we kind of figured. Anyways, but I think Indiana they have more depth. I think they're obviously younger, and they have more guys. I think, between Pascal Siakam and Tyrese Halliburton, enough playmakers.
Let me ask y'all this. Sorry, Coach. Let me ask y'all this. Hey, I understand he catch a lot of hell. Try to be as objective as possible with this question. Is Rick Carlisle a better coach than Doc Rivers?
Yes. They both have a ring.
Not close.
I don't think it's close. I think Rick Carlisle. I think Rick Carlisle is on another level when it comes to coaching. I'm
not gonna say it's a blowout, but I'm gonna say Doc has had way more talent.
Doc has had more talent.
And has less success than Rick Carlisle. Well, with more talent. I think if you give Rick Carlisle as much talent as Doc Rivers has had, I think Rick Carlisle has a couple rings.
He'd have more than just the one ring.
Yeah, he'll have more than just the one. Yeah, exactly.
Now, to be fair, some extenuating circumstances prevented Doc from being more successful. A lot stuff he can't control, injuries, all that other good stuff. Yeah. That's all I wanted. To the first point of to the first question that you asked, David, who has the advantage? Again, like we said with Mavs Clippers, Indiana has the advantage right now. They did what they unexpectedly, I might add, they did what they had to do. They stole.
I think a lot of people thought they'd take at least one game in Milwaukee without Giannis.
I don't think so. Because the downside with Indiana is their offense is their defense. They play zero defense.
Yeah,
they have none. And so they're just
if you you'll go through a stretch where you don't make shots for 3 or 4 minutes. I mean, you could easily get cooked out of your building.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Like a couple stops here and there from you don't score on the offensive end, and then you're all of a sudden you're down by 17 points.
It can get ugly. It can get ugly fast. And my thing with them is all right, so Pascal Siakam, you balling right now, bro. I think you had a good game 1. You had a great game 2. The guy that I need to step the fuck up is Halliburton. You have to be better, man.
Yeah,
got,
I mean, 12 points in game 2. I know they were up by a lot. They didn't really need his offensive punch, but like you have to. I mean, he hasn't been as good since the hamstring injury. I mean, 9 points in game 1, 12 in game 2.
You gotta be better.
And it's not like they have like an elite defender checking you. I mean, I guess Patrick Beverly's probably the defender on him majority of the game, but
no, it's just like so like with that is because like the one while Patrick Beverly is a tenacious defender, Halliburton still has the size advantage. So like you might start off with a Pat Bev, but you can throw a Malik Beasley on Tyrese Halliburton, and if I'm Doc Rivers, I'll say, hey, that's cool. Unless he just starts going haywire, I'm not too concerned about that matchup. But until that starts, I'm not worried about Tyrese Halliburton right now.
I think the Milwaukee Bucks need more out of Chris Middleton, man. I mean, Chris Middleton was a minus 10, 15 points, 6 to 14.
Well, I mean, in his defense, he did get banged up in game 2 and left that game and didn't return until the third quarter.
36 minutes though. What do you do with the majority of that? 36 minutes?
I think when like no matter what happens with the Bucks this season, the season is like if they come up short, if anything shorter than the Eastern Conference Finals appearance, season's deemed a failure. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they say. You put Dame and Giannis together to go deep. You don't go deep, it's a failure.
Hey,
second thing, I think Middleton gone. I think he's out.
I think so. I think so too. I think they're going to trade.
I'm not really such a big plus minus, I guess, but you know, this is alarming to me. Minus 24 for Damian Lillard, minus 27 for Patrick Beverly. So, what are they doing? Getting cooked.
Moving on to the other side, we got the Cleveland Cavaliers hosting the Orlando Magic. The Cavs are just about to lose game 3 right now on the Orlando Magic's floor, 2-1.
Okay,
Magic,
so
come back.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm sorry. All right, so we know that I went into detail with the ass whooping that Orlando is putting on Cleveland, right? So you lose game 3 in what's probably going to be record fashion in Cavs franchise history, right?
40-point loss.
40-point loss. What do you say to the guy? Like, do you just say because you can't go in there saying, guys, it's just another game.
I don't think you do nothing. I mean, you probably don't even watch the film of this game.
Hell no! No.
You know what? You're like, you know what? Yeah, we suck tonight. We just basically gotta chop it up. They're like, hey,
so you say burn the tape?
Yeah, like we're like, yo, we gotta you gotta do some soul searching. You gotta whatever you gotta do over the next couple days. Go to Disney World for.
Your team loses by 40 in game 3 of the playoffs. What do you say to your team afterwards, the next day leading up to game 4? Like, because in my opinion, because it's the playoffs, you can't chop this up to it's just another game.
If I'm Coach Bickerstaff, I go into the locker room. I said, hey man, some of y'all had a little bit too much, you know what, for the game. So y'all gonna have to cut that out. Your legs is weak. We gonna be all right, though.
Izzy, I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't expecting that answer, but the fact that you said that answer does not surprise me one iota. Like, it does not
so this will, unless they score, so their worst playoff loss in the history of the franchise came in on May 5th, 2021, where Portland beat Cleveland. This can't be a playoff game.
No.
Because Portland beat Cleveland 141-105. I'm going to continue doing some research here. Oh, here we go. It's 07-08 against the Washington Wizards or Bullets. I don't know what they were going by at the time in 2008.
They were Wizards.
Eastern Conference first round, 36 points, 108-72.
2007, 2008. All right. So yeah, this what's the score right now? Do you got eyes on that right now?
Yeah. Hold on a second. It's 78-117.
I think. But no, in a real honest answer, hey man, we came out flat. We didn't shoot the ball well. They came out on a heater.
39. This
was their first home playoff game. It was their first home playoff game in I don't know how many years.
What 5 years? Decade?
4 years? No, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, because they made the playoffs with Vooch those seasons.
Yeah, about 4 or 5. About 5 years.
It's only like 5 or 6 years. I mean, how long has
it was
Vooch
the
been?
first home playoff game in 5 years. The crowd came out.
5 years.
Crowd came out excited. They came out pumped up. You know, I expected this, but game 4, we can't let them tie it and give these young guys any type of hope. We're gonna have to come out here. We're gonna have to. Donovan's gonna have to push the pace. Darius Garland, I don't know what the hell you're gonna have to do, but you're gonna have to wake the hell up. You're gonna have to wake the hell up.
I knew it was different. I knew it was different when Franz Wagner tried to dunk on Jared Allen. Like, bro, that is not your game. But I thought he got blocked. Jared Allen blocked it.
Minnesota traded up 1 pick. 10 to 11. So I wonder what they're gonna do.
I hate moves like that.
Like, they got JJ McCarthy, big losers. Anyways,
but I think the Orlando Magic have an opportunity. I think whoever wins Game 4 is probably going to win this series, no matter what. Because I don't think you can follow up a 40-point loss with a loss of any kind if you're the Cavaliers and still come back in this series and win it.
If Cleveland wins Game 4, they're winning this in 5. Because nothing that Orlando showed me in the first 2 games in Cleveland gave me any reason to hope they could win in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Orlando,
but I think a loss like this, like I talked about, not even watching the tape. But if you lose again in Game 4, that's when it starts to have that lasting impact.
That's the question on the flip side. All right, so you won by 40 tonight after getting your ass kicked the first 2 games. You, as a young team with little play, for a lot of those guys, it's their first time. Yeah, a lot of those guys first time in the playoffs.
All of them. I'm not sure anybody on their team.
I don't think anybody's been
Gary Harris.
Gary Harris, maybe.
Yeah.
But so it's like you can't make the young mistake of, we whooped their ass by 40 in Game 3. We just gonna do the same thing. Like, no, you have to go into Game 4 like you're down still. Like, I mean, you still are down.
They still are down. I also think if you're Orlando, you don't watch too much of this tape either. I mean, you obviously you're like, we got a hot streak and we just kind of came back and we hit it hot and they didn't play well. And we can't bank on the fact that that's going to happen every single night. But I think if Orlando wins Game 2, if they win another game, no matter what the fashion is, I think they'll win the series if they win. They have
a lot of confidence. Another thing is, how much did they pay Max Strus?
I don't have that number.
Was it $50 million or something like that? They paid him something around that ballpark.
I can get the number. Hold on.
He's in the last 2-3 weeks. He scored double digits.
62
million. You scored double digits twice in the last 2-3 weeks of the season. I'm gonna need you to start shooting it better. I'm gonna need you to start playing better.
So here's the thing with that, right? Like, here's the thing. Do you think they look at Max Strus like with the roster that they got, right? So obviously Mitchell, option 1. Garland, you can score. Karis LeVert off the bench, you can score.
I would say Allen's number 3, Mobley 4.
How much?
I think they consider Max Strus a luxury. Like
that's what I'm getting at. So like, how much are we really expecting?
Like if he plays well, I think that's a bonus. I don't think they're banking on him.
That's an absolute bonus.
Yeah, but if he's playing 30-something minutes a night, you're paying him $62 million. He at least got to shoot the ball.
Devil's advocate. I agree with both sides. Like, Izzy, I agree with your point. Like, hey, bro, if you out there, you got to be a threat. You got to be a threat. You got to be able to, like, if I pass you the ball and you open, you got to be able to knock that shit down. And David, me and you I'm definitely in more agreement with you. Like, I view anything else that he gives them is icing on the cake. It's a luxury.
Yeah. Like, I think he just has to be there in order to keep defenses honest, and his ability to stretch the floor allows like players to slack off him on defense. Like, you can't slack off him; he's making shots. I mean, if you dominate driving, you cannot have that whoever the Max Strus defender is just kind of play double team, because if he's making those shots, you can't leave him. Like, you got to stay on him.
If you're the Orlando Magic, you kind of live with that. Like, hey, if I lose a game and Max Strus drops 30,
100%. So we'll see how these series end up coming up. We'll check back in with them at a later time. But let's swing back into a staple here at the crossover, and it's GOAT Talk. If you're not aware, this is the story. This is the show where we give a little bit of shine for some players that maybe didn't get the necessary shine while they're in the NBA. TJ, you got today's GOAT Talk. Let's talk about it.
I do. You know what? Yeah, I love that song. Anyway, player one. I have the draft on my phone. I'm going to turn that down because I don't know if y'all can hear it. But player one played from 98 to 2012. He was an 8th overall pick in 98 out of St. Louis. Played for the Sixers, the Warriors, the Wizards, the Cavs, the Bulls, the Knicks, the Bobcats, and the Magic. Do you need those teams again?
Is it Steven Jackson? No,
it is not Steven Jackson.
Is it Jared Wallace?
Say it again.
It is not Jared Wallace. It is. What do you need?
Yeah, Jared Wallace never played for the Bulls.
Wait, no. Say the teams again.
Philly, Golden State, Washington, Cleveland, Chicago, Knicks, Bobcats, Magic.
Oh, and what college?
St. Louis.
University of St. Louis. Larry
Hughes.
All right.
Player two.
No wonder he played on a billion. I was like, man, this guy played on every team in the NBA.
He was a solid ass player.
Larry Hughes was a very solid ass player. Player two is also a very solid ass player. Player two is a dead giveaway. I can't even give you where you went to college because I can't even give you the teams.
Dead giveaway. You can't give us the teams.
No.
All right. What years did he play?
2003 to 2016.
Is it Monte Ellis? No, it can't be.
So he in that
Heinrich.
It's
Kirk Heinrich.
It's Kirk Heinrich.
Oh, Kirk Heinrich broke a Brewers franchise record for threes.
He still has it.
He did.
I think he still has it, right?
For a career,
yeah. Man, they did my boy Kirk Heinrich so bogus when they didn't resign him. He had to go to Atlanta and Washington.
They traded religion assets to bring him back.
Hey, when you got a shot to get LeBron, Wade, and Bosh, you do what you got to do.
I know.
JJ McCarthy's a Viking. Izzy, you're right. I'm not too crazy about this, but hey, it is what it is. So more numbers for and the one thing I hate about Heinrich's career is he not like so. I look at scoring a little differently. Like if he came up short on 10,000 points. He finished with 9,594. I feel like if he would have got 10,000 points, he would be looked at a lot differently. Those in the NBA circles, like they hold him at a very high regard. Like it take Dwayne Wade and Steven Jackson and those guys to talk about how much of a pest he was on defense, because he wasn't dumb. Like he was intelligent. He was a smart ass defender. Like Dwayne Wade said when he had forget 20, forget 30. He said it took him to have 40 against Kirk Heinrich for him to be like, damn, I had a good game against Kirk Heinrich. Like that's saying something. So like he averaged 11 for a career, 3 rebounds and 5 assists. So 11, 3, and 5 for his career. We already know all defensive second team in 07, all rookie team. And while Larry Hughes, 14 a game, 4 rebounds and 3 assists, and he was all defensive first team in 05. And he led the league in steals in 05.
Steals, yeah, 2.9.
I'm going Kirk Heinrich. And Kirk Heinrich brought more intangibles to the table than Larry Hughes did. I'm gonna go. And I might be slightly biased, so
no, you're not wrong. It's no wrong answer here. When I look at both of their games, a little bit different. I think Larry Hughes can create a little bit, like it has a little bit more pizzazz when it turns to like creating for his own shot. I think he was a little bit better than Kirk Heinrich, like ISO ball. Like Larry can go ISO and get you a bucket. I mean, he's his 3 best seasons, albeit he didn't play full seasons. That was the gist of his career, was that he was like not healthy majority of his career. Never played a full season in the NBA, but he had 22 points a game with Golden State, but he only played like half a season. And then he had 20 points a game where he played 60 games in Washington, and then he had 18 points a game in Washington as well. So those 2 years in Washington, he was solid. And if I'm not mistaken, those Washington teams beat with Gilbert Arenas, they beat the Bulls, the baby Bulls. When Kirk Heinrich was when they went to the first round.
5, yeah.
And they were teammates.
They beat the baby Bulls.
We gotta keep in mind these two dudes. Like this, I think this is like the rare occurrence that we've had teammates in the GOAT talk. Like these two guys were like they were teammates for a minute.
Yeah.
And like the one thing I always
won Kirk Heinrich though.
The one thing I always give grace for with Kirk Heinrich was he was thrusted into a position that he never should have been in. Like it was never meant for Kirk Heinrich to be the best player on the Bulls, right? That position, that responsibility kind of got bestowed upon him inadvertently with Jay Williams having the injury, the accident that he had.
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
I agree.
So like I think if, and one thing I always do is go talk is put these two dudes in today's NBA. How much they would flourish with, because you got to keep in mind, they still played at the time where hand checking was still legal.
Early,
right?
I mean, the tail end of it. I mean, the very beginning. I don't even think. What year they outlaw hand checking? I don't think there was hand checking in 03.
Yeah, it was big hand checking in 03.
I think they started outlawing it probably 05, 06,
05, 06, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Something like that. I when I look at when I look at Larry Hughes, if he was more healthy during his career, I think he would have put up more numbers. I think that would have been a clear choice for me with Larry Hughes. But since Kirk Heinrich
2004
since Kirk Heinrich was durable, was a great 3-point shooter and a hell of a defender, and he played in an era where he had to guard probably one of the best top 3, top 4 shooting guard, top 3 shooting guard of all time. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade. Okay, let's when it comes to
like
shooting,
not just that, bro. Like
Dwayne Wade, he had to guard Dwayne Wade majority of his career.
Whoever your best ball handler was, that's who Heinrich. So like he guarded Dwayne. He guarded Dwayne Wade. He guarded LeBron James, who started off as a 2 guard in the league. He he guarded Allen Iverson when they matched up against Philly. Then when Allen Iverson he guarded Chauncey Billups and Rip Hamilton when the Pistons were the Pistons. Like, yeah, so Heinrich was, Heinrich, go lock him down. Hey, not lock him down, but just do what
make
you
his
can
life,
do.
Make his life miserable.
And since he played with a guy in Ben Gordon who was not very good defensively, and he had to hide those deficiencies with Ben playing next to Ben Gordon.
But then they hit it all together when they moved Ben to the bench. Like, bro, you finna be 6th man of the year. We finna. So you going Kurt? You going Kurt?
Oh yeah, sweep it.
Sweep it.
But yeah, thank you very much for checking us out here at the Crossover. Thank you very much for checking us out here at Prime Sports World. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. David Huppman, Israel Vera, TJ Hopkins. Thank you very much for joining us. And gentlemen, what do we do here at the Prime, my friends?
We bring the heat, ladies and gentlemen. So much for 30 minutes, David.
We
can never do a show at 30 minutes, bro.
We'll be back here tomorrow giving you our winners and losers for the first round of the NFL draft. Hopefully you guys all enjoy as things unfold here in
Olu Fashanu just got picked by the New York Jets. I was wishing it was Brock Bowers. Now I think Brock Bowers is going to be a Cincinnati Bengals, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll see. We'll talk about it briefly tomorrow. You guys all have a good night and stay safe out there. Peace out.